Hello, everyone. Welcome to the finale. Oh, the finale.
Oh
The
no.
premiere of season 11. We're here 4 years in and still can't do an intro right.
Oh my God. I think a professional podcast duo would like redo the intro. No, not us. We're
That's
gonna
just
learn
not
the
who we
secret
are.
sauce. It's funny because I was taking a shower earlier thinking about our season premiere because that's what my brain does is it just thinks about things like this. And I was thinking about all the comments we get that are like, get to the point, get to the point. And a part of me is like, okay, fine, I see what you're saying. Like we all have short attention spans, we want to cater to our audience. But also, you guys know who we are. We're gonna ramble.
And also, maybe we should. Sorry, I just realized I completely dismantled my mic. I've always been turning it in one. We're really struggling today.
We haven't recorded in a while, as you can probably tell.
Yeah, but I feel like
Oh,
we
wait,
should
you're
challenge.
super quiet. Do you have like a volume knob?
Yeah, how's that?
Okay, it's getting back to normal.
Do I need to put it up
Oh, you're
more?
good. You're good.
Okay, okay. I feel I feel like we should challenge our attention spans because it's sad how short of an attention span we all have. So
If
you'll
you
just
can't
have to
watch,
wait 3 minutes
yes.
for us to get to the point.
Yeah, if you
Once
can't
we,
watch a 30-minute video where we thoroughly explain things, not like we are like, I mean, we do go off topic, but we usually make a few really good points in that 30-minute segment. So, like, just hang with us if you are really interested in the topic that you saw in the
yeah,
title. It's worth
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Oh,
Patience is a
okay.
virtue.
Anyway, welcome to season 11 craziness. Of course, our usual reminders go subscribe to YouTube to watch our video content. We're also on Substack. We post all of our audio episodes as well as our bonus segments over there. And today, to introduce the topic, we are talking about SkinnyTok. And, you know, again, speaking of like maybe not rambling, SkinnyTok just may be fascism in disguise. There, I said it.
It's definitely, you know how they're like, oh, recession indicator.
Yeah.
Definitely 100% a sign of fascism. What a
Yeah.
fun topic today. We're really coming out strong. These next 4 years, we're gonna need constant wellness checks.
I was just telling Emily before we recorded that I was like watching obviously Skinny Talk videos to prepare for this episode today. And I was like low key getting super triggered. I was just like, ooh, it's just like bringing back so many memories. And like, I can easily see how when you watch these videos, if you're not fully recovered or you don't even have an eating disorder yet, but this could be what spirals you into one, how that can happen because these videos are just so, I don't know, they're kind of like addicting and like they say things that like make you want to listen. They're really engaging.
They're very good at marketing. They're very good
Yes.
at like feeding into that like terrible
It's a
thing
really
in the back of your
susceptible part of your
mind.
brain. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like looking for that validation, and these videos give you exactly that.
Yes. And then obviously, trigger warning, we will be talking about disordered eating and eating disorder and weight loss throughout all of this because based off the name, which we're going to jump right into, Skinny Talk, there has been an uprising. This has been happening for a couple of years now, but it's really taken, I feel like it's almost in its full form. I would say the past like 6, 8 months or so. It's very toxic how much it's there. And it started off in like this side of TikTok where people, as you know, like our Liv Schmidt video, our I always forget her name. I want to say
King
Krabby
Krabby
Patty
Patty.
Melt, but
Krabby
it's
Patty
not.
melt. So
But
weird. I don't
like,
know where you got that from.
I don't know. I don't know either. But like them saying like, here are tips on how to stay thin. This is how I stay skinny. Don't eat that, you fat cow. Like things very like if someone were to say that to your face, that is a bully and low-key harassment. But these
Right.
people make it their entire platform.
And yeah,
And
their brand. And they have like Liv Schmidt has like support groups, if you want to call it that. like communities of people who are doing this to each other. It's bonkers.
Yeah. And what just Hannah has graciously given us some quotes just to really give you a good idea of what is going on out there. So, one of the most common quotes that have been circulating over the past couple months is someone saying, "Why do you need a treat? You're not a dog."
I hate that so much.
Next one is, "What you eat in private will be shown in public." If you told, if you told college me that, I would have probably jumped off a cliff. I'm not even kidding.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying, like about getting like re-triggered watching or like, yeah, watching
yes,
these and listening to this. Like these things, I now can see it in a different light. But back then I would have been like, oh my gosh, yeah, you're right. Like I am doing
yeah,
something wrong. I need to be skinny, blah, 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 blah.
yeah, exactly. Another one is, why is eating the most important part of your day? And then if you're hungry, just go for a walk. This is the classic. This is just like a different version of like, if you're hungry, just drink a glass of water. That
Yep.
I grew up with that. I feel like
Yep.
you also grew up with that, Hannah. If you eat it, if you wouldn't eat an apple, then you're not really hungry.
I
This
hate
is
that
kind of like
one.
rebranded apple a day keeps the doctor away, but now it's just if you don't even want to eat an apple, then you're not allowed to eat. And then because it's 2025 with AI,
I thought you'd like this
what
one.
someone said, I haven't seen this, and this is going to make me really mad.
I knew it
I
would.
saved an AI image of me skinnier as my wallpaper on my phone.
I was on a video of people like, you know, that trend where it's like a person just like posts their face with audio and it's like, share the most unhinged, da da da, like gossip
Yeah,
that you've heard at work or whatever. Of course, this one was like, share the most unhinged skinny talk tips. And they were just thousands of comments. This is one of them that I thought you would just absolutely think
I
was
hate that.
wonderful. Yeah.
I hate everything about that. I hate the use of AI. I hate the use of something that's not even real.
Bringing the worlds of
To
AI and eating disorders together is just like,
I'm scared. I'm like legitimately afraid for the mental health of so many people. Hannah, you're gonna be employed forever.
I'm literally going to have a job forever.
Yeah,
I was thinking that too,
that
like not only about myself being triggered, but like my patients see this stuff. They tell me that all the time. We talk constantly about social media and spending less time on it, less scrolling, all of that.
yeah.
It's just like so accessible. The stuff is like so, and we were just talking about this too before we recorded. These videos never get blocked or reported for some reason.
Nope. But ours
They're
do when we
always the
talk
ones.
about vaccines and the
They're always the
importance.
ones that go viral.
Yeah. So I'm like, and I know TikTok like had this, we're talking mostly about TikTok because that's like where a lot of this starts. But TikTok like had this whole movement a couple years ago where they're like, we're not promoting eating disorders. Like it even like you if you search some things, it like send like one of those like warning messages like,
Uh-huh.
hey,
It
seek
still does
help.
that. When I was looking up SkinnyTok, it gave me the little thing like, "Do
Mm,
you need help? Are you okay?
yeah.
Like, do you
Well,
actually
like
even care?"
yeah,
Because
that
no, I'm
little
not.
message is clearly not helping because more and more people are making videos about this and feeding into this. And then they just like feed off of each other because like it's one of those things like you said, like the validation of it. You're like, oh, there here are all these other people that also hate their bodies because they've t been told to hyperfixate on all these things. And this girl who's so skinny and pretty and I want to look like her, she's telling me I'm fat and I can't if I don't go on 3 walks a day, then I'll never look like her. Like, it's insane. And the thing is, this is nothing new. Like,
That, I wanted to say that too. Yeah.
they're just, history repeats itself, as I was going to say, as we learn, but unfortunately, the American education system is a hot mess right now. So maybe kids aren't learning this, but kids, if you're listening, if you're somehow on YouTube here or Spotify or Apple Podcasts, these waves of the push for like eating disorder culture, wellness culture are not uncommon, unfortunately. So like because we're so educated in the area, we know how to protect ourselves. But like for the app, like if I was not constantly in this environment, like the anti-diet space, it would be horrible
Yes. That's
to
what I
be
keep
online.
saying. Like I literally work as an eating disorder dietitian and I see this stuff and I'm still just like, "Ugh." I gotta like look away because it's just too much for even me. So
Yeah.
imagine someone who doesn't have the years of recovery under their belt or the education, the
Yeah.
constant exposure to the anti-diet message that I do. It's just so harmful. That's what I want to say next. I think a lot of the pushback we're getting, and if we do call out this SkinnyTok BS, is, oh, what's wrong with SkinnyTok? It's just promoting healthy eating and exercise. It's actually good for you. You are promoting obesity, which we've talked about over and over and over again on the podcast, but it is worth repeating today. We'll kind of keep it short and sweet because we have hours of content on this, but we are not saying that going for walks and eating a vegetable, going to the gym, using a treadmill, we are not saying those are toxic behaviors and that you should not be doing those things. Obviously, we're not saying that. We're dietitians. We want you to be healthy. What we are saying though is that being healthy is not automatically synonymous with weight loss, which is obviously what SkinnyTok is all about, is being skinny and losing weight. I've seen some videos where they're like, oh, it's actually not about being skinny. It's not about the weight loss. But then they're like feeding into the SkinnyTok, like using hashtag SkinnyTok and like talking about SkinnyTok. I'm like, then don't align yourself with SkinnyTok because you're wanting to refer to something totally different. But SkinnyTok itself is about weight loss and being skinny. And that is not
Yeah.
synonymous with health.
And utilizing harmful methods to get there, whether it's hurting yourself through like physical means with what you eat, overly exercising, the like verbal abuse is insane. Like how they talk about themselves, how they talk to others, and it's all shaped in a way that seems motivational because, as we talk about many times before on here, like strong polarizing opinions do well. So when you're very confident in something, it's going to perform better. Also, rage baiting, low key, like even if they're not trying to rage bait, such having such a strong negative thought about something is going to elicit a lot more interaction.
Yeah.
So then these videos get pushed more people see them, and then the community that is Skinny Talk continues to grow. And it's just, yeah, I'm like legitimately very nervous for so many people's health.
Same.
I'm like
Same.
low-key glad I work with people in their 60s, 70s, 80s because they're not on TikTok. So I like
Right.
it's the young ones I have to deal with this with. So, but
Yeah.
I don't have to deal with it as much. I just get their classic, like what they were taught growing up and all that diet
Which,
culture.
like you said, it all repeats itself. This is nothing new. It's just a rebranded version of previous diet culture stuff that's being spread.
Yeah, just with AI and technology.
Exactly. And video versus picture, which I think in some ways can cause a whole other host of issues that we don't see with photo. But anyway, uh obviously it's obvious to us, I guess, and those of you who have been around for a long time, maybe not to others who are just now tuning in for the first time, but to us it's very obvious that when we say SkinnyTok is not a thing to follow, we're not saying that your body changing is a bad thing. Vegetables are, we don't want you to have vegetables. Big Pharma is telling us that you need to eat more and gain weight. Like, that's obviously not what we're saying. Can you please use some common sense just for like half a second, please? I'm begging you.
Yeah. It's very much so just like fixating on one part of what we say and then running with that, which is a very much a classic social media response as we've been online for so long.
I mean, yeah, speaking of
It's
short attention span, like they want us to just say, yes, it's good or no, it's bad, and then just move on. But there's so much to be said about this that we can't just like simply say, Skinny talk equals bad, weight loss equals bad. There's so much more to like say about it and to back up those claims. And that's why I think it is important to have literary skills and really improve on that attention span a little bit so you can like hear us out, please.
Yeah, we are in a literacy crisis right now, so
Mm-hmm.
from all aspects. So this could be a good challenge. But something else, I feel like literally the purpose of this podcast is can be defined by our next point is the risk around pursuing intentional weight loss. All of our diet reviews, our influencer reviews, when we bring it on different people talking about like health approaches, a lot of it comes down to pursuing intentional weight loss can be incredibly harmful. We've talked about this a gazillion times. We're going to link a variety of episodes in the description so you can check them out where we talk about the history of obesity as a disease, weight-centric medical care, what is HAES. But the number one reason, in my opinion, and I think from like a health standpoint, this would back up is like the rate of disordered eating and eating disorders associated with intentional weight loss, where people literally, oh, I always, I'm so used to speaking in filtered TikTok terms. I'm like, does YouTube not like work some words? I
Apparently, you
know
can do
which ones
whatever
they
you
don't
want, but
like
yeah,
because we have gotten flagged. But I'll say, I'll speak in TikTok just to be safe. People literally unalive themselves over this. Like,
yes, I have
and
multiple
then,
patients who get admitted for unaliving themselves or attempting to because of their eating disorder,
yes,
which almost always has had a history of pursuing intentional weight loss somewhere in there.
yeah. So it's very concerning and frustrating for us when we see this mass wave of people feeding into this and just arguing it's promoting healthy eating when we are the ones that deal with the consequences. Not that we're like, oh my gosh, now we have to like do our job. But people are always like, oh, you want to do like that type thing. No, we don't want people in these situations or in such a negative, unhealthy mind space where they cannot function as a human being because all they are focused on is their weight or how their body looks.
Yeah. It I'm crashing out. I was crashing out earlier today. I'm gonna crash out again because you're getting me on a
Yeah,
rough day. My God. I'm just like, I don't know. I think in a lot of ways, I'm very lucky, and I'm sure you can relate, Emily, that we can feel this anger about it. Like,
very privileged too.
yes, because I've been in the place that my patients have been in, and people who are listening to this podcast probably have been in, where like you don't see these things as bad. And that can be where maybe you are listening to this podcast and you're like, I don't know. I really like Skinny Talk. And so I really have a hard time like saying what I'm saying is 100% true. I am right about this, but like I really feel like I'm right about this. Like this
I
sucks.
mean, the whole like hating yourself ideology, like that's not normal.
Right.
That's there are so many things, one, going on in the world right now. Two, so many like from a positive standpoint, so many things to like be grateful for. I say that very lightly. But like
Uh,
we are not on this earth to hate our bodies.
like yes.
That's
Like literally
there.
who cares? Which I guess is a great segue into our next piece.
Yes. The for anyone who's been living under a rock, we have the pleasure of experiencing the effects of the American politics firsthand in our everyday lives because Hannah and I live in the United States of America. and we are not doing well. Send help, guys. Like
Wellness checks
we
are needed.
it's been 4 months and we no one is doing well. We have an insane leader who is pushing all this crazy alt-right, harmful propaganda and like ideologies onto us. We're losing rights left and right. People are getting kidnapped. It's insane what is happening. And you're probably like, Emily, why are you bringing up this slash fascism, as you've seen in the title? And it's because SkinnyTok and fascism go hand in hand. One of the one of the main tenets of it is focusing more on race and your nationalism than individual human rights and ideologies. And one of the things we are regressing to is women's bodies being painted as a vessel to carry on children. We see this one with Trump talking about a 5K stipend for
We
everyone
have
who
not
has
talked
a
about this yet, on or off the podcast.
we have not. There's just been too much
We can't keep up. We
every
don't see
single
each other
day.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Vance talking about how the birth rates are down. The discussion around like just how to keep our population up. And a lot of it is around like white supremacy. That's the reason they're so scared, is because I think it's predicted 2050, white people will no longer be the majority in the US, which
Mm.
I love that.
I'm counting down.
But a lot of this ideology comes around to like utilize like pushing the narrative that women's bodies are meant to birth children. And a lot of like one with white supremacy, like the skinny, non-curvy girly, because a lot of like people of color tend to be dependent, more curvy. We also see this like specifically with the clean girl aesthetic. Oh, that makes me so mad.
Mm.
How like it's the slick back buns and the gold jewelry, which is also like cultural, I don't want to say appropriation, but it's literally stolen from
Say, we didn't
Black
start that.
women and Latino women. They've been doing that, but now that the white girlies are doing it, it's quote unquote clean
It's
girl
clean.
aesthetic.
Hmm.
It's the movement away from like colorful makeup and more natural makeup because you want to be as white and like pure as possible. It's the right. We have not talked about the purity culture going on right now. Like
Crash out
the
number
amount
three. Here it comes.
the amount of like slut shaming around women, the amount for calling of banned like of the call the what did I just say? The amount of calling for banning smutty books because that's not okay for the children to read. Please, if you knew what I was reading as a child, it would send you to the ER. And then the latest one, and I'm sure you've seen this, a man that's shaming women for what they wear at the gym. Have you seen that video?
I don't know if I've seen the one you're referring to, but I've seen countless others of
Yes.
that.
Yes. And what makes me the most mad out of that, because one, I don't care, who cares what a man thinks. Two, the amount of pick-me's in his comments. I was like, I am in enemy territory. They were like, yeah, like we don't want to see all your crevices or anything. And I'm like,
Oh, I have seen this. Yep.
and my thing, and a lot of people have come up and like discussed this, is like when you're at the gym, if you're actually there at the gym, like you don't notice what people are wearing this much unless you are being creepy and staring at them and not minding your own business.
Right. Who cares?
Like
Ugh.
people are talking about they're like we should bring back I think it's the 80s like onesies where it's like basically a thought. They're like, all right, we'll bring that back then
Yeah.
because you are like women used to be so conservative.
But also, like, you want them to have all these babies. Like, pick a side. Do you want us to like
Yes,
cover up and be prudes, or do you want us to like be popping out kids left and right? You can't have
exactly.
both.
Yeah. a professor, I don't know where he's from. I honestly didn't look much into him. Actually coined this term, which I thought was super interesting, and I could totally see you using it more in just the future. His name is Brian Pronger. He coined this term body fascism around what
I
is
know, I love
happening
that.
with Skinny Talk and the rise of fascism. I'm like, wow, that's like, he should copyright that or
If he doesn't,
something.
I'm gonna steal it and I'm gonna copyright it.
Yeah. Something else I'll note is with the promotion of more like thin bodies, this is paired with also able-bodied individuals. We have never been kind to disabled people. And now there's even more push of like the amount of like eugenics discussion I've seen where we're like, these people just shouldn't or be allowed to like do any of these things. They should just like, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh God, was that too sarcastic? YouTube,
YouTube,
uh,
we
we
don't believe
are,
that to be the
we do not
case.
believe it. We are very much wanting to uplift people in disabled bodies. Please don't be mad at us.
I
Okay,
just add like
moving.
when I'm editing a beep
No,
over all what you just said.
actually, yeah. Distort it in a way that they can't. Or put some music over it so the interfering audio
Yeah.
will it can't pick up on what's actually being said.
Uh,
Uh, yeah. But overall, I think the biggest thing really is just like I believe all of this is around birth rates. I think a lot of it is around that, where like
yeah.
promoting disordered eating then takes the focus away from women from other things in their lives and back to their bodies. So like
Hmm.
women are more educated than ever right now, which I love this for us. And it's a threat to maintain the population. It's a threat to job security for men because now women are more higher up positions because they are overly qualified and taking their jobs. Oh my God. And then also I literally put this is also threatening the male loneliness epidemic. We haven't talked
Ew.
about that.
Ew.
I
I
I have
hate
s-
it so
I
much.
have so many unkind words for anyone who wants to cry about that. And but that's like the reality is like women no longer need a man to open a bank account. They no longer need a man for to use a credit card. They don't need a man to buy a like sign off on buying a home. And because of the independence around that, less women are getting married and less women are having children. And now that the birth rate is not what they want it to be, they're like, we need them to refocus on their bodies and refocus on being perfect and get them back into these traditional roles, which we've also seen with the increased amount of like trad. We've talked about trad
Trad
wives a little
wives.
bit on
Yeah.
here before, but there has been a weird, like, I don't want to say fetishization of trad wives. But like we're kind of weirdly, I will note at one point I consumed a lot of Nora Smith content because I was just like, what, how do you make like I was like, how are you making this from scratch? That was my main thing.
Yeah.
But we kind of as a society have put these people on platforms like Ballerina Farm as well,
Hmm.
where we're really romanticizing it and they just promote the like traditional gender roles where like the wife cooks and cleans and they have all these children
Pops out babies.
and they're all thin and very pure and
They
they're
go to
all
church.
alt-right influencers.
Hmm.
It's just like insane everything happening and how this is coming about. And everything is connected for people that are like, it's not that deep. You're making this way bigger than it is that deep. It comes down to also someone I don't think I've ever said this phrase in my life, but food purity. I saw someone talk about that. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
Where like it's also skinny talk paired with fascism is promoting these like supremacy thoughts, or there cannot be a way to make that like supremical. That's not a word. thoughts of supremacy, we'll
Yeah.
say, around like the food you buy and eat. Like this was already happening with like Crunchy
Clean
Moms,
eating, wellness
clean eating,
culture,
and this is like I feel like it's final form. It's just all of it.
final boss.
This is the final. We're in it now. Like if we can all get out of this unscathed, I'll be
Me
impressed.
too.
But it's just like entitlement and supremacy and babies and gender roles and hating ourselves and making money for the diet industry. And honestly, you know who I'm going to blame a lot of this on? One, the people that voted for Trump, obviously.
Obviously.
Two, the Washington State Post, Washington Post,
Hmm.
and all of those articles attacking anti-diet dietitians for
Uh,
promoting obesity because look where we are now.
well,
And
speaking of that, one of the big SkinnyTok influencers, oh, she starts all of her videos with, here are my credentials. And it like flashes back to a photo of her being 100 and whatever pounds heavier. And the comments are always like, yeah, those are the right credentials. That's how we can trust you, blah, 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 blah. So there's just like, we're
we are in the
getting into
bad
this too.
place.
Yes.
We, it you know what also relates to that because everything's connected is the anti-intellectualism
Yes.
epidemic where college educated and just generally educated people are now being demonized.
And dare I say, since dietetics is a female dominated field, like, of course, we're looked down upon.
Yes. It's already like we're already going against
Yeah.
so many obstacles. Oh, that makes me so mad. That
Yes.
makes me so...
It's like almost every video she like starts off with, here are my credentials, and it flashes back and it's a picture of her in a larger body. So
Someone,
they're hearing the criticism because that was probably a response to someone like me saying, pause, you are not
your
qualified to
body
give
is
out this
not your resume.
advice.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they are hearing us. They are just doubling down and
You know what?
continuing
At
to
least
fight
they're
back.
sticking to what they're saying.
That's true. That's true. As
They're
are we.
brave for that, but I'd like to think in many years, hopefully less than 10, they'll be proven very wrong.
That's the thing
But
too,
the thing
is
is,
you go
no,
ahead.
you go, you go.
No, you go. My thought
I'm
wasn't
I'm
all that.
I'm diverting a little bit.
Okay, go ahead. Mine was something we've already hashed out a million times, so I'm kind of over it.
I was just gonna say the thing is like they probably have these tens to hundreds of thousands of followers and they're making money from these videos. And maybe this is like me being a little mean and not I'm saying this as a person and not as a dietitian right now. I cannot imagine they are actually happy in their life. Like to be living
Right.
like that, to be hating yourself, to be restricting yourself of food that will make you happy and life experiences and just like hobbies potentially that you're now just putting all this time and energy into punishing your body with exercise or whatever. You cannot actually be happy. And that I feel like that gives me some peace of mind where like we're very lucky that we are years and years. I don't know how many years we're gonna say because we saw how easily we could be
I
sent back
know.
to the past. Um, recovered, but at least we have a happy and healthy mindset around this, at least. Other things, not healthy mind.
As I've
We're
said,
not
I've crashed out all
mentally
day
healthy.
today.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, too, is they will say in their videos, like, oh, I'm so much happier now that I'm skinny. And I could see how that would feel true because the world does cater to those in smaller bodies, as we've discussed.
Yes.
There's so many
Yes.
things in place that make it easier to live a life in a smaller body versus in a larger body where you are constantly in a role of being replaced because the world hates people in larger bodies.
Yes.
But if your happiness is only coming from that, like if it's just from society's response to you being smaller, the validation that you're getting because you're now smaller, is that true happiness? If it's not even like you being happy with yourself because you actually like yourself, you are only happy because of what others are portraying in response to what you're giving them.
Yes. A good reflection opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're like, no, I really do feel happier now that I'm skinny, it probably does feel that way. I can absolutely see why it would.
Yeah,
But
especially when the
why does
world
that?
caters to you more.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ugh.
My throat hurts from like screaming and just ah.
Well, luckily we've reached our final thoughts, so
Ugh.
we can give your mouth a break. This took a weird turn. We're gonna just push through and ignore everything that's just said. So overall, our final thoughts on all of this, follow weight neutral, Haze, anti-diet accounts. Ours are great examples. Listen to the podcast. Don't worry, we're not gonna shift.
If we
So
ever start posting like SkinnyTok content,
neither of us will be well. Like
we've
it
been
will take
hacked.
it will take something really bad for both of us to go down. Because the
I'm
thing is,
trying
like,
to, we have accountability. That's
we have
true.
accountability. So, like, it's going to take something that will send both of us.
I'm trying to think what it would be like. What situation would lead to both of us going to so much turmoil that we just like completely flip our script?
I'm
It's got to be
imagining
bad.
like job losses, banned from social media, like family or friend. It had to be really bad.
Really bad.
It, yeah. But luckily
All
we
that
have each
said,
other.
we'll be here for the long haul talking
And you guys can
about,
also call us out if we start to
please
go
do.
down the skinny talk route, please. Dude, I don't think we'll go down there, but
Please
I would,
lobotomize me if I do.
yeah, yeah, literally take us out. And something else I noted is parents need to be monitoring what their children are engaging with online,
Yeah.
especially on TikTok. I know there are ways to set up settings so you don't see certain things, you don't
Mm-hmm.
engage with certain material. Also, like look at your kids' YouTube history. Look at what they're and there's a way to do this without invading their privacy. Like, let's be
Yeah.
chill. Let's
And
not
not
be
sheltering them so much where they end up rebelling. You know what I'm
yes.
saying? It's a
Yes.
fine
But
line. I'm
luckily
not a
there
parent,
are
but
yeah. I was gonna say luckily there are millions of parents already, so you can talk to other parents about how to do this properly. But a lot of it is like exposure with children online and especially on TikTok. Like the amount of times I like when I worked in my past job and I worked with like teenagers, the amount of times they told me they'd have to delete TikTok because of what they saw. I'm like,
mhm.
I'm glad they are recognizing that's an issue. But a lot of people don't, when you're a kid, you aren't thinking about that always,
Right.
unless you're exposed to it or see it somewhere where you're like, is this normal? So just like do your job as a parent. That's what I'm gonna say. And I just know I can see this going two ways where like I'm gonna be mean again. You know what? I've just
I have a mean
established
thought in my
I'm the
head
mean
too.
one. I will be the mean one out of the two of
I
us.
don't
I
know. I have a
call
pretty mean thought in my head too. I want to hear yours first, though.
wait, I might have lost the thought. Hold on, it'll come
Oh
back.
no.
I got so distracted on not saying my mean thought and I was like, it went away. Wait, hold on, it'll come back. Oh, yes. Okay. I can see this going two ways where the parents with maybe a little bit more common sense when it comes to like treating people like normal people and humanity, well, they'll be like, oh, okay, this might be harmful. Let's talk to our kids about it. Let's talk to them about like how they feel about it, see if they're okay. Like there's a way to go about it. And then there are the parents that I'm saying protect your kid, and they're going to be like, okay, I'm going to now censor what you read heavily. I'm going to now not allow you to watch that show because there's a gay couple. Like
Hmm.
I can see it going either way. Just for public on the record, I am not saying to promote any homophobic ideologies, or we'll just throw them all out there, homophobic, racist, misogynistic, xenophobic, anti-Semitic, ableist.
Those are all things that are taught to children. They don't have those thoughts and beliefs
They are
fresh out the
not
womb.
born with that.
Right.
So we are not standing with that's not protecting your child in that way. Teaching children
No.
hate is not protecting
No,
them.
I saw a video today, speaking of this, that was like, it was like a mock conversation with like, a Republican parent and their like liberal child. And the parent was like, oh, they shouldn't be teaching kids in school about gay rights and trans people and all that. They're too young to, be talking about like sexualization and all of that. And I'll keep it brief, but the kid, the daughter of the parent, whatever, was like, but don't you like read them stories about the prince and the princess like kissing and falling in love? Like, why is that okay, but they can't see like two men falling in love? Like, why is that a
Yeah.
problem but not the prince and
Yep.
the princess?
Yep.
Let's think about that a little bit.
Yeah, you are pushing these things on them. They're
Exactly.
just now it's
In
something
a
different. You're
exactly
like,
in an
ah,
acceptable way that you think is allowed.
yeah.
My mean thought was maybe if you don't have the time, energy, or means to monitor a child, don't have a child. Not
Yeah.
everyone needs to be a parent, even if there is 5K on the line.
Yeah. I actually was just having a conversation yesterday with some of my friends about there's a lot of people that shouldn't be parents. So
I saw a video and I totally resonate. They were like, the people who, how'd they say it?
I think we saw the same video.
I'm sure we did. It resonated with me a lot as a person who's got my tubes removed. It was like the people who spend the most time thinking about like if they should have kids or not are the ones who usually don't have kids. The
Yeah.
ones who just like pop them out, they're never questioning like, oh, would I be a good parent? Should I do this? Is it good for the economy? Is it good for my like physical well-being, mental well-being? Like if you're thinking it that much, those are usually the ones who end up like not having the kids.
Yeah. And might also be better parents because they actually think
Exactly.
about other people.
Exactly.
But no, birth control is bad. We must do what God says. Okay, I'm not going to go down this
We
route.
could literally
We're
talk
going
about
to
this
let
for
you
hours. Oh, I'm feeling so fired up.
we're going to let you guys go cuz we have 4 more years of this at least.
Until he becomes king, and then we'll have it forever.
I'm hoping natural selection.
I was gonna say,
I'm
when
my
does
mom told me I should not. Okay, mom, if you're I know you're listening. I am not wishing ill will on someone because she's like the karma will come back and hurt someone else you love. I am not. I'm just saying, as a medical professional, things happen.
people rarely live to their 80s?
Yeah. So we'll see. Stay tuned. Anyway, we're going to talk about what we did on our little break from the podcast over on Substack. So go check it out there where you can see all of our exclusive content. Also, you can listen to all of our other ramblings and random stuff we talk about over there. But thanks for listening and watching today, guys. We appreciate you. Don't worry, you are not alone. If you're also not doing well, we're right there with you. And I've seen a lot of people talking about how there is like a fascist regime are often not able to maintain themselves
Mm,
over a long period of time. So I'm trying to be hopeful,
yes.
especially cults. We didn't even talk about the cult aspect of all this. Cults tend to cave in on themselves. So
Yeah.
we'll just keep trying the best we can,
Stay safe out there,
unfortunately.
Tud Buds.
Yeah. We'll see you next week.